The dense fog rolled over the still waters of Lake Merrow, shrouding the world in a thick, ethereal veil. The lake was ancient, older than the town that bordered it, older even than the crumbling docks that now stood like skeletons of forgotten times. Locals spoke of whispers that danced on the surface when the mist grew thick, voices tangled with secrets left behind. For Clara, the lake wasn't just a body of water, it was a memory, a scar. It was where she'd last seen Noah 5 years ago, standing at the edge of the dock, his words swallowed by the fog as he disappeared into the unknown. She never found out why he left. Clara had since built a life stitched together with routine, early mornings at the small cafe she managed, evenings spent sketching by her apartment window, and nights haunted by the silhouette of a man who had once promised her forever. But fate has a strange way of revisiting old wounds. It was an ordinary Tuesday when Clara returned to the lake. The fog was thicker than she remembered, wrapping around her like a cold, familiar embrace. She sat on the edge of the dock, letting her legs dangle above the dark water, sketchbook resting on her knees. Her pencil moved absent-mindedly, lines and shapes forming without thought. Then she heard it. A faint sound, like footsteps on old wood. She turned sharply, her breath catching in her throat. There, emerging from the fog, was a figure, tall, familiar, his silhouette carved against the mist like a memory made flesh. Noah. Her heart slammed against her ribs, disbelief rooting her to the spot. He looked older, rougher around the edges, but it was him, undeniably him. He stopped a few feet away, his expression shadowed by the mist. Clara. Her name on his lips sounded both foreign and painfully familiar. She stood abruptly, her sketchbook tumbling into the water unnoticed. "What are you doing here?" Noah's jaw clenched, his hands stuffed into the pockets of his worn jacket. "I didn't think I'd find you here." "Funny. I didn't think I'd ever see you again," she snapped, her voice sharper than she intended, laced with years of unanswered questions. Silence settled between them, broken only by the gentle lapping of water against the dock. Finally, Noah spoke, his voice softer. "I never wanted to leave like that." Clara laughed bitterly. "But you did." He stepped closer, hesitation in every movement. "I made mistakes." "Mistakes?" She shook her head, a bitter smile tugging at the corner of her lips. "You vanished without a word, Noah. You didn't just leave, you disappeared." His gaze dropped to the weathered planks beneath their feet. "I thought it was the right thing to do." "For who?" Her voice cracked, the weight of 5 years pressing down on her chest. "For both of us." The fog thickened, as if the lake itself listened, holding its breath. Clara crossed her arms, trying to keep herself together. "Why now?" Noah's eyes met hers, filled with regret and something else, something that scared her. "Because I couldn't stay gone anymore." Her heart raced, confusion and anger tangled in her chest. She took a shaky breath. "I don't know what you expect me to say." "I don't expect anything," he whispered. "I just needed to see you." Clara turned away, staring out at the endless gray expanse of the lake. "I needed to see if I was still part of your story," he added softly. She didn't respond. Because deep down, she knew he always had been. The fog thickened, curling around them like the ghost of the past they could never outrun. Clara stared at the water, its glassy surface undisturbed, unlike the storm brewing inside her chest. She could hear Noah's footsteps behind her, hesitant, each one a fragile echo on the creaking wooden planks. "Clara," he whispered again, his voice softer, almost carried away by the breeze. She closed her eyes, breathing in the sharp, earthy scent of the lake. Her mind flashed to the last time she'd seen him, standing right here, his eyes filled with promises he never kept. "I'll come back," he'd said. But he never did. "What do you want from me?" Clara's voice was low, brittle like thin ice on the lake's surface. Noah sighed, stepping beside her, leaving a careful distance between them. His presence was both unfamiliar and achingly known, like an old song half remembered. I don't know, he admitted, his gaze fixed on the horizon where the mist swallowed the sky. I just couldn't stay away anymore. She turned to face him then, her heart pounding. He looked the same, but different, older, with faint lines around his eyes, a shadow of exhaustion beneath them. His jacket was worn, his hair a little longer, as if time had moved differently for him. 5 years, Noah, she whispered, her voice trembling despite the anger she tried to hold on to. You disappeared. No calls, no letters, just gone. His jaw clenched. I thought it was the right thing. For who? She snapped, her emotions spilling over. For me? Because it wasn't. I was broken, he confessed, his eyes darkening with something she couldn't name. I didn't know how to fix myself, let alone be what you needed. Tears stung her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. You didn't even give me a chance to decide that. The wind picked up, sending ripples across the lake, as if the water itself shuddered from the weight of their words. Noah stepped closer, his hand twitching slightly like he wanted to reach for her, but was too afraid. I was scared, he admitted, his voice raw. Scared of failing you. Scared of being just another mistake in your life. Clara let out a shaky breath, her heart aching with all the things left unsaid over the years. She wanted to scream, to hit him, to demand answers, but all she could do was whisper, "You already were." His face crumpled slightly, but he didn't look away. I know. They stood in silence, the space between them filled with memories too heavy to carry alone. Finally, Clara sat down on the dock, pulling her knees to her chest, her heart too exhausted to stand any longer. Noah hesitated before sitting beside her, leaving just enough space to respect the distance time had created. I never stopped thinking about you, he said quietly, staring out at the lake. Clara's throat tightened. Thinking about someone isn't the same as staying. I know, he whispered. They sat there for a long time, the fog slowly lifting as the first hints of dawn painted the sky with pale blues and pinks. The lake remained quiet, holding their secrets like it always had. Eventually, Clara broke the silence. Why come back now? Noah's shoulders sagged, as if the question carried more weight than he could bear. Because I finally realized running doesn't fix anything. Clara turned to look at him, her heart softening just enough to let in the truth behind his words. She saw the regret in his eyes, the exhaustion of a man haunted by his own choices. I'm not the same person I was, she whispered. Noah nodded slowly. Neither am I. Another silence settled between them, but this time it wasn't as heavy. It was filled with something fragile, hope, maybe, or the beginning of forgiveness. Clara stood up, brushing the dust from her jeans. She looked down at him, her heart steady for the first time in years. I don't know if I can forgive you, she said honestly. Noah stood too, his eyes meeting hers with quiet acceptance. I'm not asking you to. She nodded, swallowing the lump in her throat. Good. She turned to leave, her footsteps light on the dock, the burden on her chest just a little less suffocating. But before she disappeared into the morning mist, she paused, glancing over her shoulder. I'll be at the cafe tomorrow, she said softly, if you're still around. Noah's heart swelled, a fragile smile tugging at the corner of his lips. I'll be there. And for the first time in 5 years, Clara felt like maybe, just maybe, the lake wasn't the only thing that could hold forgotten whispers. The cafe was quiet the next morning, bathed in soft golden light spilling through the dusty windows. Clara arrived earlier than usual, her heart an unsteady drumbeat beneath her ribs. She didn't know why she'd invited Noah. Maybe curiosity, maybe closure, maybe something she wasn't ready to admit. She busied herself behind the counter, pretending to rearrange cups that didn't need rearranging. Every time the door chimed, her heart leapt, only to settle again when it wasn't him. But then he was there. Noah stood in the doorway, looking slightly out of place, his hands shoved deep into his jacket pockets. The morning light softened his features, but it didn't erase the years etched into his face. Clara forced herself to breathe, nodding slightly as an unspoken invitation. He approached cautiously, like a man walking on thin ice. She gestured to a corner table near the window. "Coffee? Please." They sat in silence at first, the cafe's usual buzz replaced by the deafening sound of unspoken words. Clara stared at her cup, tracing the rim with her finger, while Noah fidgeted with the edge of his sleeve. Finally, he broke the silence. "I didn't expect you to show up." She raised an eyebrow. "Then why did you come?" He chuckled softly, shaking his head. "I don't know. Hope, maybe." Clara sighed, leaning back in her chair. "Hope's a dangerous thing." Noah nodded, his smile fading. "Yeah, I guess I hoped you'd still hate me less if you saw me in daylight." She almost laughed, but the sound got stuck somewhere in her chest. "I don't hate you," she whispered. "I wish I did. It would have been easier." Noah's eyes darkened with regret. "I deserve that." Clara looked out the window, watching people pass by, their lives simple and uninterrupted. She envied them. "Why did you really leave, Noah?" she asked, her voice softer now. He swallowed hard, his fingers tightening around his cup. "Because I was drowning." She turned back to him, confused. "I lost my job. I was broke, depressed. I didn't know how to fix anything, not myself, not us. I thought disappearing was better than dragging you down with me." Tears pricked at the corners of Clara's eyes, but she blinked them away. "You didn't give me the chance to decide that." "I know," he whispered, his voice thick with guilt. "I was selfish." Clara stared at him, searching for the boy she used to know, hidden beneath the man sitting in front of her. "Do you think showing up now fixes it?" she asked. Noah shook his head. "No. I just wanted to be honest this time. No more running." They sat in silence again, the weight of their past heavy in the space between them. After a while, Clara spoke, her voice softer. "I'm not the same person I was." Noah met her gaze, his expression tender. "Neither am I." She stood, grabbing her empty cup. "I need time." He nodded, standing too. "I'll wait." As she walked away, she realized something. He had left her once without a word, but now he was offering her the one thing he hadn't before, the choice to stay or let go. Weeks passed. Noah remained in town, not pushing, not forcing his presence, just existing on the fringes of Clara's life. They'd cross paths occasionally at the lake, at the cafe, on quiet streets where their history hung in the air like the lingering scent of rain. They spoke more, cautiously at first, like strangers rediscovering familiarity. The conversations grew deeper, about books, music, and eventually, the cracks in their hearts. One chilly evening, they found themselves back at the lake, the fog rolling in like an old friend. "I used to hate this place after you left," Clara admitted, her breath visible in the cold air. "It felt like it stole you from me." Noah stared at the water, his hands in his pockets. "It felt like it swallowed me too." She glanced at him, her heart no longer racing with anger, but with something softer. "But here we are." "Yeah," he murmured. "Here we are." He turned to her, his eyes filled with something fragile, hope, maybe, or the remnants of love long buried. "I never stopped caring about you," he whispered. Clara's chest tightened, but she didn't look away. "I know." He stepped closer, leaving only a small space between them. "I don't expect to be forgiven, but I'd like the chance to be part of your life again, however you'll have me." She searched his face, looking for lies, but found none. Just raw, messy honesty. After a long pause, she reached out, her fingers brushing against his, a simple, tentative touch. "I don't know what this means," she whispered. "Me neither," he replied softly. "But maybe that's okay." They stood there as the fog wrapped around them, two souls stitched together not by perfection, but by the messy, complicated threads of forgiveness and hope. Because sometimes, love isn't about finding your way back. It's about finding a new path forward together.